Hi, and welcome to Plastic Free North Devon Business Bites, which aims to shed a bit of light on some of the amazing businesses that we have right here in North Devon that are striving for sustainability within their companies and helping us to achieve a more sustainable economy in North Devon in general. During this series, we're going to be looking at a range of businesses from manufacturing to coffee shops to jewellery makers. So we're going to be looking at a varied kind of framework of people to try and get kind of the best bits and the challenges of what people are facing. And I hope that it kind of inspires some other businesses across the area to do something. And today we're talking to Steve from Turnstyles Design, who runs a company in Barnstaple that manufacture door handles and furniture handles. And they're a medium to large sized business and have had to go through quite a lot to get to where they are in terms of their sustainability journey today. So Steve, hi.
Morning. Hello.
So Steve, I'm going to start by asking you a few questions. So can you tell me a bit about your business and where it started?
Yeah, it started in a little barn just outside Wesley, which was in 1992, just on my own with my wife. Just had a new baby, and we then moved to a larger farmhouse with a big shed that we rented for £1 a week, just outside Bishop's Taunton. A few other moves. We're now in Roundswell, where we built a purpose-built unit in 2000. So we've been going for about 28 years, and the business is we've got about 50 people working for us. We've got offices in the States, and we've got a showroom in London, and the business is primarily export, so we do probably 75 to 80% export a year. Everything is we manufacture in North Devon, so and we use a variety of different materials. So we manufacture sort of middle to high end door handles, furniture handles, anything that opens something, window handles, interior and exterior. We manufacture mainly for high-end residential, but we do quite a lot of work with the marine business as well. So we supply people like Princess Yachts and Sunseeker and quite a few export companies. We do a lot of custom work, probably about 30% of the business is custom, so the client will come to us with a design and we'll develop it for them, or they'll ask us to design something unique themselves. We use brass as our core material, but we then cover the grips in vegetable tan leather, which is all hand stitched and crafted in the factory in Devon. And then we also use our own composite material that we manufacture, which is unique to us as well. So that's generally what we do and where we sell and what we manufacture.
Great, that's a good description of what you do. Okay, so is there a particular ethos or ethics behind your business that you've tried to follow?
Yeah, I think probably the ethos is based around quality. I think everything we make, I mean, we're not shy about charging, but we're not greedy with the margins. It just costs a lot of money to make quality. So everything we do, we make it to last. And I think most of our handles that we put out there will outlast us. We have a sort of indefinite guarantee on our product. So if anyone has any breakages, which is very rare, we will replace or repair them. If you get damage on the handles, again, we've got a sort of no-nonsense replacement. We try and repair it first if we can. If we can't repair it, we'll replace it, and that's generally done free of charge. So the basic ethos of the business is everything around that. And because we make detail, the detail of the business has got to be good as the product, because I think it reflects who we are and how we operate, and it reflects on the quality of the product and the quality of the service and everything else. So from a sustainability point of view, that's sort of knitted into our DNA. We haven't come across it recently. We've been trying to do it from day one, But we have stepped it up probably over the last sort of 5 years to a much higher level, and we're really examining and looking at every part of the business to see what we can do to be a better business, really. From our point of view, that just makes good business sense. It doesn't mean that we're trying to do it we're trying to do it for the right reasons, but I think it reflects on the business and probably will make us a stronger business for the future anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a kind of a big groundswell of that sort of movement going on. So you're definitely on the right track. So just on that point, I know that obviously with the kind of the business that you have, there's lots of different aspects when you're thinking about sustainability. So what particular tools have you used when looking at that as a kind of a whole, and what have been your learning points, and what can you share with others, really?
Sort of broken it down to some of the lower hanging fruit, which was we thought were the easier things to deal with. I think that the obvious things were getting rid of single-use plastic in our packaging. Although we don't sell to the consumer, we sell to other businesses who, fit out companies or building companies and so forth. That packaging still has to be disposed of in some way. Yeah. And most of the time those companies won't recycle plastic. Things go in the bin. So we wanted to replace all our packaging with biodegradable packaging. So which was quite a big job. We used to use tens of thousands of plastic bags every year, little miniature ones to put our screws in and the various other fittings. So we went on a journey to replace every piece of plastic, and we've just got to the final piece, which I think is coming out of production sometime this month. So we will be entirely biodegradable in all our packaging. So we've replaced our sort of bubble wrap, which wraps with corrugated paper. We've wrapped everything now in tissue paper. We use paper bags instead of plastic bags. Even our void fill, to be honest, we've been using biodegradable void fill for years. It's corn starch based, and so that just dissolves to nothing once it's thrown away. And then so the packaging is one side. Then we've looked at the energy for how we get our energy. So we've had PV on the roof for the last 10 years, but we've just putting actually going on next week, tripling that PV. So we'll be pretty much self-sustained in our electricity. In fact, we'll be earning money because we'll get money back from the grid. So we'll be consuming everything that we produce, and then we'll also be exporting to the grid, and we're getting paid for that. And that the payback on that is ridiculously fast, about 5 years. So once you pay for that structure, that's money in the bank. Transportation, and right down to the staff. We've got a bike incentive scheme for the staff to come in, and then to give them an extra boost, we actually pay them to bike into work. So that's or walk in, as long as you're not coming in by car. There's lots of other areas, from banking to insurance to what goes through the canteen, the recyclability of that, to how we actually heat the building that we've looked at, and I think it's just drawing up a list and going through the priorities and dealing with the lower hanging fruit, the easier bits and pieces. First of all, try not to do it all at once and getting overwhelmed by it. So there's lots to do, but it's all very doable. And there's lots of tools out there to help you now, and there's lots of suppliers that are competitive. And I think at the end of this journey, it won't have cost us money; it'll save us money. And so, from a business point of view, it's a no-brainer really to becoming more sustainable. It also gives us longevity. It gives us much better place in the marketplace. Our clients, a lot of our clients, are asking us about our sustainable credentials. And I think you need to be able to put your hand on your heart and say what you're doing is true and honest. You're not trying to just greenwash the business to get more business. Clients can really see through that very, very quickly if you're faking it.
That's very sound, amazing advice, I think, for anyone looking to start that journey in their business. And so with that, have there been any particular challenges that you've faced with trying to follow that with that business model? Has there been anything that's really standed out?
I think one thing which even if you take the packaging for one, I put it on to our buyer. So her job was to buy product for us, which included packaging. And I gave her the challenge of finding suppliers and getting our plastic replaced. And what I hadn't anticipated was just how hard that was. And trying to convince her that this was her job, and it was an important part of her job. And it kept getting put back to the back of the bench, and she would keep buying the same product again. And because it takes time and energy to research these things and find new suppliers and put them, and it's much easier for people just to do what they've been doing before. They use the same supplier, the same routine. And it wasn't until I sat her down and said, look, this is your priority job now. I do not want to see any of this bought, and to really nail it home, to say, I don't care if it's going to take longer, and I don't care if it's going to cost us more. You have to do this. I think that was surprising to me, that how hard it was to convince the staff that they had to get behind it, and to see the value of it. And of course, once you've done it, once you've found those good new suppliers, the hard work's done. It's repeating that business time and time again. I mean, we're constantly trying to improve it. So I think to begin with, started buying white paper bags, which they were from another industry, so they had a slight wax layer on them. So now we're buying brown paper bags without it, so biodegrades faster. So trying to improve those things, obviously much better than plastic, but not as good as we could get. So I think if you keep trying to improve it, once you're on the route, it becomes better. And once you've got that message across to your staff that this is an essential part of your job, this is as important as anything else, if not more important, then it starts to roll and it starts to improve.
Yeah, I think that's such an important point. I think especially at your size of business, it's kind of getting the staff on board and taking them with you and making them part of that journey as well. I remember one of the things that I think I love about you is that when a member of staff, what's the bit that you give them when they start working with you?
Let my people go surfing, from Yvonne Chouinard, the Patagonia founder.
Yeah, it's just amazing to kind of give them that, like whether they read it or not, but I think it's just a pretty good thing to be doing with your staff. Okay, great. So the last question, have you got any advice or tips to other businesses wanting to kind of either begin their journey or further their journey?
I think if you start looking on the internet, you'll get completely blinded. There's just too much going on out there, and I think if you can pick other people's brains, if you can find other people that might have started that journey and use the same suppliers that we have. For example, we've spent a lot of time looking at suppliers for PV, and we'll hopefully have a good result with the ones that are running through. So I don't think you have to start from scratch all the time. So if you can pick other people's brains, most people in business know other people in other businesses or similar businesses that might be doing a similar thing. So I think if we can pool our resources and our knowledge together, it will save a huge amount of time. And I think critically, if you don't look at sustainability as a tag on to the business, if you look at it as an essential part of your business, as important as the marketing or the costing or your accounts or your purchasing or anything else like that, which you would never sideline any of those other key elements for your business. You shouldn't be sidelining sustainability. Sustainability is what is going to keep your business sustainable, not just on the ecological side, but also from a business point of view. If you want to be in business in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years time, you've got to be sustainable. otherwise, you know, the very word itself describes how you want your business to continue. So just make sure you knit it in as part of your business planning, and you'll be surprised. It doesn't cost you. It will ultimately, I think, most of the time, it'll save you money. And I think that's what it will be surprising to a lot of people that are just beginning on that journey.
That's such sound advice. I think, like you say, putting it at the heart of whatever you do is kind of crucial to how you move forward and the kind of changing climate of business in itself. Well, thank you so much for talking to us. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for all the support that you give us continually as well. And hopefully we'll catch up with you again soon.
All right. Thanks, Claire.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.